Hi guys, how we doing today? Plans changed a little bit this afternoon. We were on our way to Can-Am for the Pabst shootout. I checked the website at 1 o'clock. Everything was good. By the time I got up there, hung around the house for a little bit. They had already canceled. So what I figured I'd do, I haven't been up to Alexandria Bay in a long time, so I figured I'd come up. We're right here at the Four Corners. If you come in through the main drag, that's coming in from whatever the main road there is, back where FX Capera Chrysler is. And yeah, I did stop by and say hi. But this is the main drag right here. And 40 years ago, on 4th of July weekend, I would have been right here. 3 of my friends, I was working at GE in the factory making TV tubes. And me and my buddies from Liverpool would come out here every Memorial Day, every 4th of July, and every Labor Day. We would stay in Redwood, which is a little south of here, and that's where I ended up messing up my neck all those years ago, jumping into the lake from a tree. But this was, I can't remember what the name of this place was, but this was one of the big bars at the time, was right here. And I remember we used to run into some friends of ours. They were in a motorcycle club. They were from Canada. And we would meet them in Redwood. They camped the same place we would. I remember we would meet here in the city at night, and we'd hang out and swim in I think it was Mill Site Lake. You guys know. Leave me a message too and subscribe. Normally we're racing stuff, but had a chance to do this today, so I figured I'd just come down here and share some memories. But I remember one time, it's probably 11 o'clock, and that's looking out west. We'll go there in just a second so you can see all the boats and everything. But we were over here on this side, and there was another bunch of, I think it was another motorcycle club across the street. And it started out, your side sucks, that kind of stuff used to be back then. Next thing you know, there were bottles being thrown and riot police. It was the 80s. It was 40 years ago. Different time. But this part of it hasn't changed. None of us had boats or anything, so just some 23-year-old kid making more money than he had any idea what to do with at GE, and then coming up here and getting as wild as you could get. Plain and simple. Obviously way before I met my wife, and way before I got into racing. And nice area here. And like I said, since we rained out today, I figured, what the heck, let's come on up. And since I had my camera. And back then, I envisioned a TV show, and this was 1984. I had already been to college once and flunked out. But I envisioned a TV show where basically my friend Steve and I, we call it the Steve and Doug Network. It was SDN. And basically what we did is we had a little cassette recorder, and we would wander through places like this, and it was almost basically like what the Travel Channel is today. We would point out, like it's called James Street now, but I can't remember what it was. Guys, if you know, let us know, because again, this would have been 84 to, let me see, I got laid off in 87, I believe it was. And I'm sure we came up here summer of 87 too. But we were going to do these little travel logs almost, where we would roll into a town, we would point out what there was to do, highlight some of the restaurants and things like that. And that was going to be our deal. I'd still like to do that at some point, but you need hard drive, editing software. It's not out of the realm of possibilities. And now that we have the YouTube channel, the channel can be 80% racing, 90% racing. I figured that would be okay. I know this wasn't a pizza place back in the day, but I don't remember what it was. And leave it to Charlie. Got to advertise up here, right, Charlie? A lot of bikers up here, so you definitely want the Harley Davidson dealership shown here. This place on the corner was a bar restaurant. This was one of our hangouts. I remember the brick out front. And they're playing music down here at one of these places, so I'm only going to be able to get so close. I'm not going to be able to go the whole way down the drag here. But that was the place right here where we used to go. Camille's here. She's just behind me. She stops at a store. And she would not have dated me back then, trust me. Most women would not have dated me back then. And for good reason. I don't remember what the name of this place was here, but this was here before too. I remember because it was open air. But it's as beautiful up here now, today, as it was back then. And again, 40 years ago today, we would have been up here. I am positive that we were here that weekend. So this is just a little, wanted to shoot this, kind of share some memories. So for those of you who might be like I was 40 years ago, lost. I was 23 years old, no real ambition, no real drive. I flunked out of college. You can still turn things around. You can still be somebody and do something, I've been very fortunate. Most of the things I've wanted to do, all those on the list, I always wanted to do that kind of thing. I've done. I've been fortunate, so. But I've worked hard too. Just 40 years ago. When you got a job in a factory and you're making ridiculous money and all you're doing is punching a clock and going home, life is simple. Life is easier. As long as you don't make any huge mistakes, life changing, you'll be all right. But unfortunately, a lot of people do. And there's always that one thing you can do that can mess everything up for the rest of your life. So be smart, guys. Of course, at the other end is the Uncle Sam's boat tour, which I know at Can-Am when I worked there, we were always giving away tickets to the Uncle Sam boat tour. So, but I've never actually done it. I remember those signs from years ago. So getting reflective 40 years later. Hope you guys have a great weekend. We've got people coming over tomorrow, so we will not be at the Super Dirt Car Series race at Canandaigua. We'll be at Oswego on Saturday night. So we'll look to see you guys there, okay? Enjoy your 4th of July. Have a great time. And I hope you enjoyed this little tour of Alexandria Bay. And it's 40 years later. Just had a chance to come up and share some memories with you guys. Make sure to subscribe, turn on the notifications. And it's been a blast getting to know all of you in the racing community. You saved me. You showed me by example how to live, the value of hard work, and I'm a better person today because of it.